Let's go straight to the US now, where a state of emergency has been declared in the state of Wisconsin.
This morning, another American city is rocked by outrage over the police shooting of a black man. It was all caught on video.
Blake, who is black, was shot multiple times in the back by police on Sunday in Kenosha, Wisconsin, as he tried to enter the driver's side door of his vehicle. His 3 children were in the SUV. Blake, who is 29 years old, is hospitalized in serious condition.
The smoke obscured the sunrise. It was a second violent night in Kenosha, Wisconsin, after the shooting of Jacob Blake. His family says the 29-year-old's spinal cord is severed and that he's paralyzed from the waist down, though doctors aren't sure it's permanent.
They shot my son 7 times. 7 times. Like he didn't matter. But my son matters.
This graphic video posted on Facebook shows the moment an encounter between Jacob Blake and Kenosha police quickly escalated. Screams rang out as police fired at least 7 shots Sunday evening. Blake appears to have been shot in the back as he entered the driver's side of an SUV at gunpoint. His children were reportedly in the vehicle.
Investigators say Blake told the officers he had a knife. Authorities say that knife was found on the floor inside his car.
So there's a lot here that has to be fleshed out yet. The officers don't wear body-worn cameras, which hurts. Most police department has that. But I think the key part that I see of this, if he does have it, he's in possession of a knife, that raises the threat level up to the police officers.
He loves his family. You all took him from his family. You all stood by and let it happen. I just want my brother.
Exactly 3 months after the death of George Floyd, Blake's shooting is the latest flashpoint over race and policing.
In Los Angeles, protesters marched on LAPD headquarters to express their anger over Blake's shooting.
The large group last night had marched through downtown holding signs and chanting for justice before arriving outside police headquarters, at times projecting images of Jacob Blake onto the building. While the LAPD says some of its officers received minor injuries during the heightened confrontation Monday evening.
Overnight, some protesters here ignored a curfew and clashed with police in riot gear. The state had deployed the National Guard, but it didn't stop the destruction.
It's right before dawn, and firefighters are here at the scene trying to put out hotspots. Much of this city block was looted and burned overnight.
Authorities on the ground there are preparing for more chaos tonight. At the moment, the protests have been largely contained to Wisconsin, but there are some smaller demonstrations sparking in other US cities. Here in the capital, DC, we are hearing that there will be some sort of protest action, and on Friday there was already a large planned civil rights march, so you can only imagine that this latest incident will bring more people to the streets and really renew those calls for change and justice.
People living in Kenosha woke up to a second day of destruction, this time centered around businesses in and around the Uptown neighborhood there.
This used to be a furniture store at 60th and 11th Avenue. Now there's nothing left to salvage as flames continue to burn well into the afternoon. Across the street,
watching people breaking cars.
Every car parked in front of Budget Motors was smashed.
All of our offices, just our computers, screens smashed, everything just gone through.
And you have a bullet hole in your desk.
Yep, that's where I normally sit, right there.
They're burning our city down, and why?
And he's hurt.
These are businesses that cater to a majority of the black community of Kenosha, Wisconsin. And look at this. They destroyed the livelihood of Kenosha.
How can you destroy your city, your home? How can you do this?
But for Bernadette Prince, a protester with 3 sons, the frustration has reached a boiling point.
You get mad when we start destroying things. This is what happened when you do this. When you keep killing black people for no reason.
I know you got kids and girl and all that, and I never had a problem with them. I always see them every day. Parks right behind me on the street.
Local reports suggest Blake was breaking up a fight between 2 women when the police were called. That part of the incident was not caught on camera. A large number of protesters confronted officers in Kenosha Sunday night. In addition to peaceful demonstrations, at least one police officer was reportedly attacked when protests turned ugly elsewhere.
We're tired of it. And right now, this is the wrong generation that this is happening to. The frustration is boiling to the top, and we're sick and tired.
We're the ones getting killed. We're the ones getting shot. We're the ones that we're denied to live in certain communities. We've been hung, we've been shot, and all you do is keep hearing about fear. It's amazing to me why we keep loving this country, and this country does not love us back.
I just want to send my prayers out to Jacob Blake and their family. You know, the things that, you know, we decided to come down here to play for, and we said we're going to speak on the social injustice and the things that continue to happen, you know, to our people. It's not right.
You're supposed to look at the police to protect and serve, and now it's looked at harass or shoot.
Tired of it. Just tired. Every day. You know, every video is the same. So it sucks.
What I can say is that if you're sitting here telling me that there was no way to subdue that gentleman or detain him or to just before the firing of guns, then you're sitting here and you're lying to not only me, you're lying to every African American, every black person in the community, because we see it over and over and over.
This is why Cap knelt. This is why Colin Kaepernick took a knee, because this continues to happen in our communities. You can say what you want. There's mass shootings. White people commit mass shootings, and somehow they're always arrested. Somehow they're always arrested. And then you see countless numbers of unarmed African Americans being killed for no reason. You know, that the police are here to protect and serve, but somehow they've got in their mind now they need to play judge, jury, and executioner. And there's an alarming stat where 1% of officers are charged for shootings and less than 1% are actually convicted.
It has everything to do with the blatant unfairness that is exercised against Black Americans. You cannot have a Dylan Roof shoot 9 people in a church in South Carolina, and there's a nationwide manhunt out for him. You find him, you arrest him. Not only do you not shoot him, not only is he not physically harmed, but en route to the jail, you stop to get him some McDonald's or Burger King.
We're protecting from the citizens, and I just got pepper sprayed by a person in the crowd.
An hour and a half later, the disturbing and graphic incident unfolds. At 11:48 p.m., Rittenhouse can be seen running back to the scene where he shot a man, now identified as Joseph Rosenbaum. He then picks up his phone and runs away. Rosenbaum does not survive. 1 minute later, at 11:49, the shooter can be seen running down the street, long gun in hand. Protesters tackle him to the ground. His next victim, Anthony Huber, tries to grab the gun, seen in these still photos, attempting to disarm him with a skateboard, but he's shot in the chest and killed. Another protester, Gage Grosskreutz, is shot in the arm. According to the complaint, he appeared to have a handgun. At 11:51, he approaches police arriving on the scene. As police move in, Rittenhouse can be seen with his hands up, but he's not taken into custody. It's not until more than 12 hours later that police announce he's turned himself in across state lines in Illinois.
17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse allegedly shot and killed 2 in confrontations just moments apart. His attorney claiming he acted in self-defense. The president weighing in on all this as well, liking a tweet saying, "Kyle Rittenhouse is a good example of why I decided to vote for Trump."
I like to think that after the protests that followed the George Floyd video, it felt as if a lot of progress was being made. And that was fool's gold, to be quite honest with you. A lot of people, falsely believed that we had made significant progress. We just raised significant awareness.
Tonight, cities in America on edge as violence erupts among protesters, one turning deadly. In Portland, trucks driving into the city, people waving pro-Trump flags, the counter-protesters clashing with marchers demanding racial equality. This truck appearing to hit protesters with pepper spray. Later in the night, this video showing a man opening fire. Immediately after hitting the victim, the gunman runs away. Tonight, still at large, the cause of the shooting unknown. But the man who died was wearing a Blue Lives Matter flag. Tensions also erupting in Tallahassee, Florida. Police say Black Lives Matter's protesters attacking this man who was documenting their demonstration. He pulls his registered gun, protesters fleeing for cover. Police taking the man into custody and releasing him with no charges.
Was a large caravan demonstration gathering just in the suburbs of Portland yesterday afternoon. Organizers say there were about 3,000 people, about 600 vehicles. Many of them had Trump flags, and this was supposed to be a demonstration to show support for President Trump in and around the Portland area, where there has been so much criticism of the president, and there have been very significant protests in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Portland, of course, has been the scene where federal agents were sent in to try and calm those protests, only really making those tensions even worse, making the scene even more raw. But in that situation yesterday, those pro-Trump supporters, they were confronted by some supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement before they even hit the road, and there were tensions that were very clear from the very beginning.
Today, the families of Black Americans shot or killed by police are speaking on the same site at the Lincoln Memorial. This year's march has been dubbed by organizers, "Get Your Knees Off Our Necks." It follows months of mass protests against systemic racism and police brutality sparked by the killing of George Floyd, and more recently, the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin.